G'day, James Rose here again from Content Snare, and this is part 2 in our Getting Content from Clients series. This one's all about setting expectations. If you haven't seen the introduction yet, just jump back to the first video. There'll be a link right under this that sort of outlines the actual problem and why we're doing this to start with. This is going to be a pretty short one. There's only a few things I want to go through, but it's actually really important to get this sorted with your client up front. So the whole expectation setting process, or the process of getting content from clients, starts before you've even really landed your client. It could be even in the discovery phase or even your very first contact with the client if you have some kind of briefing form or something like that. The thing we're trying to make sure is that clients absolutely know that content is going to be their responsibility in one way or another, whether that means they are going to have to pay for it to get done, or they are going to provide it, or you're going to take it from somewhere they've already got it, like their existing website. So the first place I like to ask is on the in the very early stages of client onboarding. So this might be, like I said, in that initial work briefing form, if you've got one on your website, or if however you get that initial information from your client. I've seen it done where there was a question that said, what state is your content in, or something like this, and the options were, we have it on our current website, just take it from there, or we don't have content yet and I'll be writing it, or we don't have content yet and I will need help with it. So this is a good opportunity not only to see where it's at now and to put that idea in their minds, but also a potential upsell if they think they're going to need help writing it. Another good option is if you have like a working with us page, or some information on your website about your process, so you can direct your clients and what your actual process is going to look like. You can mention it in there. So you say something like the project's almost always held up because of content, or something like that, or you just have a step in your process where you're saying we wait on content to be delivered by the client, or something like that. Like, the wording is going to be dependent on your actual process and your kind of clients, but having it there is always a good idea on that working with us page. That initial meeting with the client is a good time to mention it. I actually said it already, but that's where I always like to mention almost word for word that almost every single project is held up by waiting on content from clients. So that sort of gets them thinking, or it breaks through a little bit, so they really understand that it's their responsibility, and it could very well delay the process of building their website. Especially if you start talking about dates, if they have a special date that they need to go live by, and it's going to take you 4 weeks to develop. Say that means you can tell them right then and there that if we don't have content 4 weeks before then, you're not going to hit the launch date. It's that simple. And then in the proposal or the contract, some people do them separately. We've always liked to do them as one document. But this is a great place to mention that you need content. So whether you, again, list out your process and say, this is the point we'll need content, or be careful. A lot of people just bury this as one line in the terms and conditions somewhere. Try not to do that. It's a good practice to have a sort of dot point list of all the most important things at the front of the proposal, and in there you can say that you require all content before work is started, or something. A favorite way that I've always done it is saying that we wouldn't commit to dates until we'd received all the content, until the initial deposit was paid and we've received all the content, and that's when we in-queue their site into the development queue or the design queue. So that way it makes them want to get it done much faster. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about for setting expectations. So jumped over, click the link below to get into part 3, and I'll see you in the next video.